Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
Hey, yeah. If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
When it first hit, it shocked me because I didn't even know what I was looking at. Because I remember I was getting ready for bed when it happened, and it was breaking news when the plane hit in D.C., and I'm just like, I honestly did not know what I was looking at. I'm like, is this AI? Is this like this can't be America, where a Black Hawk is hitting a commercial. Like, I didn't even know what to think when I first seen it. I was just so confused. And then I just was like, let me go to sleep because this can't be real. And then I woke up the next day and it was like, no, what I saw last night was real. And 65 people died because the elite of the elite in the Army, the Marines, the people who fly Black Hawks, these are the best of the best flight people. Like, when there's issues overseas, when, they need to go and rescue military people, you send the Black Hawks. Hell, they had a movie, Black Hawk Down. That's how elite they are. So to see a Black Hawk helicopter ram into a commercial airline is extremely frightening. Because, as you know, and many people, we all fly. We fly a lot. And there are a lot of babies on that plane, too. Skate teams. But it's also been a lot of weird stuff. I can't lie. This also happened from what I've seen people talk about on TikTok in the 60s. An ice skating team also died in a plane crash. So I'm like, what? So that came back full circle. Then you had Tanya Hardin. I don't know who drug her up. She came out the same day of the crash to announce that she was joining social media. I'm like, what year is this? 1993? Like, what? Who's thinking about Tanya Hardin in 2025? And then they were interviewing Nancy Kerrigan, and I get it because they were Olympians at one point. They were figure skaters. It's just been a lot of weird coincidences, right? And so let's start with that. I want to start with like how Trump responded, which to me I did not like. Very flippant, even when like the reporters were asking him, like, are you going to come down here? And he's like, come down to what? Just what? Look at the water, swim in the water. Very, very flippant.
In an hour of anguish for our nation, just before 9 p.m. last night, an American Airlines regional jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter carrying 3 military service members over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., while on final approach to Reagan National Airport. Both aircraft crashed instantly and were immediately submerged into the icy waters of the Potomac. Real tragedy. The massive search and rescue mission was underway throughout the night, leveraging every asset at our disposal, and I have to say the local, state, federal, military, including the United States Coast Guard in particular, they've done a phenomenal job. So quick, so fast, it was mobilized immediately. The work has now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors. This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of we are in mourning. This has really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight. For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we have a Russia contingent, some very talented people, unfortunately, were on that plane. Very, very, very sorry about that. whose loved ones were aboard the passenger jet. We can only begin to imagine the agony that you're all feeling. Nothing worse. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. We'll be working very, very diligently in the days to come. We're here for you to wipe away the tears and to offer you our devotion, our love, and our support. We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions and ideas, and I think we'll probably state those opinions now. Because over the years I've watched as things like this happen, and they say, well, we're always investigating, and then the investigation 3 years later, they announce it. We think we have some pretty good ideas, but we'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. The FAA and the NTSB and the U.S. military will be carrying out a systematic and comprehensive investigation. Our new Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, his second day on the job when that happened. It's a rough one. I'm also immediately appointing an acting commissioner to the FAA, Christopher Rocheleau, a 22-year veteran of the agency, highly respected. Christopher, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And my administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. They have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it. But we'll restore faith.
Okay, all right, let me come back on the screen, child. Okay, first of all, I don't know if y'all 90s kids remember who Sean Duffy was. Now, y'all know we done had whole conversations about the Real World Road Rules Challenge, because I am a child of the 90s. I remember Sean Duffy. Remember, he was the lumberjack from Wisconsin, and then he got with Rachel. Remember, Rachel was wilding back then. She got her belly button pierced on national television. She was scared of Pedro Zamora because he had AIDS. Who remembers the Real World? Put a teacup if you remember Rachel. And then she got with Sean. And they got a bunch of kids now. But I remember their baby. That's who Sean Duffy is. Yes, Elizabeth. That is Sean from the lumberjack from Wisconsin, from the Real World, back when we was babies, honey. That is who he's talking about, is in the position now at the FAA. I said, you can't. I said, what in the reality TV is going on here? Now, I've been known that him and Rachel, that they've been Republican for a while. I've known that for a while because I've seen them on Fox News over the years. I'm like, wow, Rachel, you've changed a lot, bitch. I remember you was getting your belly button pierced and just, sucking, random dick. But okay, ma'am. Now she's prime and prissy and, she's married and she's with her husband. But yeah, that's who's been tapped to lead this. So my issue is this whole thing where he talked about DEI. And I want to set some things straight because I really feel like when I hear DEI, it's just a dog whistle at this point for, black people, people of color, or gays, the folks they don't want in certain positions. Now, I could see if this was like, a job at Target. Yeah, we don't want a lot of DEI people. It doesn't take a lot to work at Target and train somebody in on the register. By the end of the week, you'll get the hang of it. You'll be able to check folks in. Okay, you got it on DEI. Great. This is not the case. I have people in my family who are pilots. I have friends who are in the Air Force. You just don't, wake up one day and you work at the FAA. Even to apply, it's so scrutinized. Before you can even apply for these government jobs, they're not only checking your background, but your immediate family's background. And you have to be smart. Why does he act like people with intellectual disabilities are working at the FAA? What are you talking about? Nobody's hiring somebody who's not all the way there to, monitor planes in the sky. They just sit and just make up stuff. This is not the Walmart greeter. Walmart hires a lot of people with intellectual disabilities. They be cool too. I need to see your receipt. Oh, okay, here you go, ma'am. There's a bunch of them at our local Walmart. This is not the case. You're not going to see your local Walmart greeter working a FAA position. Like, what are they talking about DEI? And then it came out that the pilots, 2 of them were white men, and the last one that they just found her body, you know, rest in peace. They're all young. She's a woman. So is that the DEI you're talking about? Because the people who benefit from DEI are white women, but on regular jobs. But this lady was in the Air Force. Well, she has a military background. I'm not going to say Air Force, but definitely military background. Very astute. There's pictures of her, you know, at the White House with Biden. So these are very intelligent people, very hardworking people. Like to be a pilot takes a lot. You have to have thousands of flight hours. And even then, you have to be of a certain age to fly commercial planes. Because like I told you, my son's friend, you know, I've known him since he was in kindergarten. Since sophomore year, he's been going to flight school. So he hopes by the time he's, you know, 21, he'll be able eventually to fly, you know, commercial. But he's been doing this since he was 16. So nobody, you can't just wake up. You can't even just wake up right now and be like, I want to be a bus driver and drive, you know, buses in Minneapolis. You got to go get licensed. You got to get a CDL license. You got to do drug testing. Your eyes have to be checked, your vision. And it's weeks and weeks of training. And that's just to drive a bus. So you mean to tell me, why is he acting like anybody can just apply for this position and get it? That's not the case for this. I need people to like use common sense. This is not DEI. This was a very tragic mistake. And it looks like the Black Hawk was at fault. They're saying maybe they had gotten another plane in their, you know, in their sight. They were looking at the wrong plane and they didn't see this plane coming from over here. I don't know. Or could it be a situation where it was possibly, you know, hacked and they weren't able to do anything? Because I would just hate to think that these 3 people who have so much military training, you know, lots of like, you know, prestige on their belt or whatever, right? That they wouldn't see that coming, or they wouldn't. I feel like something interfered with that. That should have never happened. And I just hate the fact that this is just simply being blamed and brushed on DEI. But you literally just hired Sean Duffy from the real world. And I'm not saying he doesn't have any other credentials. I'm not saying that because I think he like ran for mayor or something. I don't know. He's done a few things in politics. I'm not trying to take away his credentials. But it seems like a lot of y'all's friends are being hired for positions that they don't have a background in. So isn't that in itself a form of DEI? Isn't that your own version of hooking your friend up? I'm just saying. So it's bad when it's DEI, but it's okay when you have all your friends in position. Even the new White House lady, I forget her name, something Levitt. Kristen Levitt, maybe? The blonde, the pretty little blonde, she's 27. How did she get that position? The average 27-year-old, I'm not saying they don't know about, because you have people know about politics. But that's not a position for the average 27-year-old. So how did she get that position? Let's keep it real. Does she really have the background? Does she really have the, you know, the career knowledge to be in that position? Or is it because she's cute and blonde? Caroline, I knew it was someone with a C, child. Caroline. So, I mean, it's very interesting how, like, a lot of the people that they're picking are, you know, friends and, you know, nepotism babies and rich folks. It's like they have their own version of DEI. But they keep trying to say DEI to make it look like it's poor, black, and gay people who are messing stuff up. So I wasn't feeling that. To get that type of job, you have to be smart. You have to have wit about yourself. You have to have 20/20 vision. You have to have good hearing. That is a very, very stressful job. to be in charge of these huge planes in the sky and to make sure that everybody gets from point A to point B safely? Imagine the stress. They're not going to have a Walmart greeter in that position. Like, come on now. Oh, yeah. Corey says he hired Linda McMahon. Exactly. Vince McMahon's wife. So it's like their whole cabinet is filled with their own version of DEI.
So everybody heard about that American Airlines plane crashing into a Black Hawk. You guys may have heard that there was a skate team that was on board. The fact that all these people died is just heartbreaking. But a lot of people don't know that this same exact event happened back in 1961, which makes me feel like this is definitely like a matrix that we're living in. Some sort of software where it's like the same events just keep happening and happening. History keeps repeating itself. If you haven't seen it, but a Black Hawk crashed into a plane back in 1961. And then I know everyone gets those senses of deja vu, and you feel like you've been somewhere or seen something before. I feel like that deja vu feeling is real, and that maybe you have been there before, maybe in a different timeline. They have a bunch of series out like that Netflix show Dark, and the same events keep happening. There's a skate team on board in 1961. That's even makes it more feel like this is some sort of damn matrix. And a lot of people are waking up because, like, what the hell is going on? I mean, drop a comment if you think we're living in the matrix.
All right. So y'all just heard what she said. When I first heard about that, I'm like, that is crazy that the same thing happened way back then with an entire skate team and a plane crash. So, I mean, even what's the Netflix movie we were all watching last year? The one that Obama produced, Leave the World Behind. Remember all those planes started just falling out the sky? So it's very nerve-wracking, all the things that's going on right now with all of these planes. So on top of what happened in D.C., then we had the plane crash in Philly. That's when I wanted to go live, but I just did not feel good. Let's watch some of these videos on the plane crash in Philly here. That's crazy. Imagine just driving home and you run into that. A plane just falling out the sky. Let's see what he got to say.
Y'all seen this angle from the Philadelphia plane crash?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm gonna move. Now, I've seen this a few times, but I want y'all to tell me what y'all see, okay? You know where the comment box is. Watch this.
All right. I can't do the soundtrack. Y'all know we don't do soundtracks, so they're going to try and flag my stream. Let's see. See if he talks normal or she.
It was a child who had just been cured of a life-threatening disease when the plane nose-dove into a Philadelphia street last night. The little girl's family, who is Mexican, had received a donation to be flown to Shriners Children's Hospital, which is in Philadelphia, to receive treatment for a, quote, life-threatening illness.
I don't know about y'all, but don't y'all find it interesting that it was a Mexican child? And there's all these issues with Mexicans and, DEI and, just all the drama going on right now, that out of all people on that out of all people on the flight, it was people who came from Mexico to get treatment and they were being flown back to Mexico. I just find that so weird. I just do. I find that the irony, sad. She survives only to die in a plane crash, man.
Completed treatment and had been released from the hospital literally minutes before the crash happened. The staff at Shriner said they had just had a little party for her, like moments before this crash, to celebrate being cured of her illness and being discharged from the hospital and being able to go home to her family in Mexico. The plane, which was ultimately headed to Tijuana, took a nosedive 30 seconds into the flight, killing the little girl, her mom, 2 doctors, a pilot, a co-pilot, and a man on the ground who was sitting in his car. They haven't said what caused the crash yet, but I can't imagine what the family of this little girl is going through. I can't even fathom being diagnosed with this life-threatening illness, beating it, and then dying just literally minutes after, having that weight lifted off your shoulder. Like, that is so, so, so sad. It was.
Yeah, like none of this makes any sense. It's just weird. Do you see 2 faces? What is this?
Guys, this is a screenshot of the plane crash in Philly. And if you look, you see two faces that are looking directly at us. How scary is this? Guys.
That do look like two faces. Here go the eyes, nose, and the mouth. Huh. Only on TikTok, child. They gonna find all the little conspiracy bits and pieces. We saw that.
Yeah, man. She's.
Okay, this is the one. That is frightening. The way it came down like a mist. And they said it wasn't even up there long. They said literally as soon as the plane took off and got in the air, it crashed a minute later. So I don't know. I don't know if this is stuff that's being done on purpose or what is going on. Let's see here. What else? Here goes some more footage here.
Oh shit, a plane just fucking crashed. Oh shit.
Oh, here go another angle. Damn, look at that fireball.
A plane just crashed on Cotman Avenue, yo. I was right there, bro. What? Yo, somebody crit. Oh my God, yo, the world, yo. What the fuck?
Oh shit, a plane just fucking crashed.
When I was on Twitter, it's probably been deleted, but I downloaded it because, you know, they like to delete stuff. It was a lot of raw footage, but there was a man running. He was on fire. He was on flames. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what
We have terrible breaking news as we have more information now about the plane crash that just happened in Philadelphia and the people that were in the plane.
Okay, we know what happened at this point. They said the black box has been recovered.
Black box from the Philadelphia medic plane crash
Okay,
has
so
been
this is the most recent. This was 4 hours ago, so they just got the black box. Let's see what she got to say.
recovered. Investigators Sunday made the announcement that the CVR, or cockpit voice recorder, had been found, and it was found 8 feet below the impact site. There's also an enhanced ground proximity warning system that could contain flight data that they have recovered as well. Both of these items are going to be sent to the NTSB for investigation. The NTSB is the National Transportation Safety Board. If you'll remember, January 31st, a medic jet went down over Philadelphia transporting 6 people. Of that included a young girl who had just finished treatment at Shriners, and her mother were headed back to Mexico. There was also a doctor, a paramedic, and a pilot and co-pilot. The plane was headed to Springfield, Missouri, but unfortunately in Philadelphia is where they had the crash, and that's what we're hoping these voice recorders are going to give us more insight about. Now, a 7th victim did pass from a car crash, and that was due directly to this impact as well. Make sure to favorite this video and hit that follow button so I can...
All right, so it looks like they did find the black box. And for y'all who don't know, the black box is like neon orange. It's not literally black. I don't know why they call it a black box, but it's not black. It's neon orange, so that way it's easier to find. So hopefully there'll be some information on that. But then, if that wasn't crazy enough, let's not forget the situation in Houston that happened. And this was yesterday. So now, it's been about 5 plane situations. So the DC one, of course, was the biggest. You had the plane crash in Philly. Then the Houston one, their engine caught on fire. Then in Chicago, now the Chicago and Minnesota one happened at the same time. A lot of people don't realize this. I found out about the Minnesota one. I posted that on Discord, and the Chicago one at the same time. Chicago, they had like a slight accident on the runway where the wing hit one of those, you know, like the cars that they drive to, like, I guess, move suitcases. They're saying like the plane kind of went off course and hit one of those. And then in Minneapolis, they had to do like an emergency landing, they had to deplane everybody from going. I think they were going to, I don't know if it was Belgium. It was an international flight. Let me see if I can find. Okay, here it is. Top story. Okay, I had to return to the Twin Cities because when they were flying, they had a emergency mechanical issue, the flap. So that, I mean, this is scary because a lot of us drive. Let me share this with y'all. So this is the story. And this happened yesterday. Sunday, February 2nd. Delta Airlines flight was forced to return to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport shortly after taking off to Amsterdam on Sunday evening, following a mechanical issue. Delta Flight 160 landed without incident around 5 p.m. According to the Metropolitan Airport Commission, the landing came after pilots of the Airbus A330, a wide-body aircraft, reported mechanical issues with the aircraft's flap, according to Delta. So that is frightening. And then on top of that, we had the issue in Chicago. So now let me go ahead and show you guys the issue that happened in Houston in case you guys missed it.
Right here. Harrowing moments in Houston when a United Airlines flight caught fire just before takeoff. Please get us on here. This video, a passenger shot showing flames coming out of the aircraft's wing. The New York-bound passengers appearing frantic as flight attendants urged calm. Please remain seated until further. First responders racing to the scene.
Precaution right now, request fire truck.
United Airlines says that during takeoff, United Flight 1382 received an indication about one engine and halted the takeoff.
So, okay, so just look at all this stuff that's happening. So the one that landed in the Potomac, that was American Airlines. The one in Minneapolis was Delta. This one was United Airlines. So it's like all of the airlines are being affected. Because initially we were like, oh, that's why I don't fly American. That's why I don't fly United. Well, Delta too. Very scary.
Which engine was it? There's engine 2 is our indications, right engine.
More than 100 passengers and 5 crew members were on board, United Airlines says, including Daria Amai Shelton.
You know, we had a big popping sound that was loud enough to startle me out of my sleep, and then the plane actually jolted to a stop.
She and fellow passengers seen here sliding to safety.
Seeing the smoke off the wing was really scary, and then seeing the intensity of everyone just trying to get off the plane orderly was a lot.
Passengers left waiting on the runway with the plane before officials say they were bused back to the terminal. The FAA says they will investigate. Tonight, those United Airlines passengers finally in the air after an early morning takeoff scare.
Priscilla joins us now live from George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Priscilla, what are the next steps in this investigation?
Yeah, Hallie, this plane will be taken out of service in order to be inspected and repaired before it can fly again in the hopes that something like this does not happen again. Hallie?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated.
All right, let me come back on the screen. So, yeah, it's a lot of issues that are going on with the planes right now. So, you know, it's scary. It's very scary because a lot of us fly. You know, it's quicker to fly. But yeah, it's a lot of things going on, and thank goodness they were able to spot that, and they weren't in the air, you know, because jet fuel can blow just like that. So thank goodness it was not like another situation like what happened in DC. So I don't know, it's very scary. A lot of people feel like they have, you know, vacations planned. You know, hell, me too. I want to be able to go visit people in the next few weeks, but now I'm just like, damn, I might have to drive, and I hate driving everywhere. So it's very frightening. It's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, and some people are saying, you know, why is this happening? You know, what is the FAA? You know, is it because all these people got fired? And I think that could be part of it. You know, I don't have all the answers, but it could be.
You want the latest news in the streets? Join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.